Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Racing Unleashed here for round 7 of the iRacing Championship. It's been 6 fantastic and grueling races as far, but we enter that final 4 stage. 4 races to go and plenty of points on offer as we head across the pond, over the Atlantic now to United States of America once again for another fantastic track. Road Atlanta is tonight's destination, and I'm going to be bringing you all the action live throughout this evening. The 1-hour race is back, and it makes its return after the 2 half and 30-minute races last time out a fortnight ago. And with only 4 races left, you might be wondering what tracks are in store. Well, it's Road Atlanta tonight, and we can bring you the calendar that shows you what is to come in a fortnight's time. We head to Suzuka, one of the most historic circuits in the world of motorsport, before coming back to America for Watkins Glen, the full layout of that one, and ending at the famous Sebring circuit on the 1st of December. And what a way to round off a fantastic year, really, of iRacing on the Racing Unleashed platform. A new step for us into sim racing and into the sim world for Racing Unleashed here. And what a season it's been, what a year of challenges it has been along the way, and we're ending it at some brilliant circuits with some fantastic racing to come as well. Can already see comments coming in the chat from Fury's Granda. Good evening to yourself. Good luck, everyone, says Luca Close from Fabio Vettiga there as well. Greetings from the Sim Racing Expo team. Have a great broadcast. Indeed we will, and hopefully the Sim Racing Expo was fantastic. Believe in Dortmund, and I hope it was a great experience for everybody who was there. We turn our attention to tonight, though. 2 weeks ago, it was Spa, and what a fantastic set of 30-minute races we had on the around the Ardennes Forest. Absolutely brilliant. We can take a look at the race results from Pro and from Am. This was the race 1 result for the Pro Championship. Then Hugh Barter took the race win from Lucas Prada, and Lewis Woods finishing in P3, which is very interesting because all in all, he's finished on the podium in every race this season. He's not yet finished on the top step, so he's got that 1 place extra to go before he can hopefully win a race before the end of the season. The AM standings then was just as good to read as well. Alexei Parton then making it a brand new AM winner. That was 4 different winners in the AM category this season. Francisco Lopez was second with Adrian Pereira in P3. And then race 2 looked pretty similar in that Pro category, with a few drivers having great battles. You see Gabriel and Lewis there again, 3rd and 2nd in that race. Gabriel actually finished 4th in the first race, and was swapped, and him and Lucas basically switched places from race 1 to race 2. And then Justin Klassen's another new race winner in Pro, giving us the 5 race winners we have in that result. So brilliant racing to see, and the AM second race as well. There was plenty of drama as well at Spa. Let's not forget the car that was flying through the sky up at the top of Radion. Verhoeven and back to winning ways after having a few races where he's just kind of been off the boil. Adrian Pereira again on the podium with Petri there in 3rd place as well. It was a great podium. It was great to speak to some of the drivers on the podium as well after the race, and it was really interesting listening to the likes of Eno talk about that AM Championship. We've got the Pro standings that we can show you first of all, and they are very interesting reading going into this week's race. There is 2 drop rounds, let's not forget. Now, I don't believe the points have taken or accurate from them drop rounds, so we'll see when they get added at the moment. But Gabriel leads that way only by 21 points from Lucas Prada, who kind of didn't really gain or lose anything, did Gabriel, in last week's race. Lewis Woods is bringing himself back into contention very much so. He's on 327. Stephen Ash is 4th place on 243. And Sinan Demirbaş, a regular of Racing Unleashed that you may see and will see back a week yesterday, as we'll get into that a little later. He's P5. Don't forget, top 5 championship positions will gain that prize money going forward at the end of the year. The AM standings as well make for interesting reading. Eno Harvenen extends that gap a little bit over Francisco Lopez. That is 34 points now, and starting to just stretch his legs a little bit. Alexei Parton, and then within 62 of Lopez, that is Alvaro Vleclerc in P4, and Adrian Pereira getting into that top 5 as well. And I believe we can show you the format for today's racing. As it obviously is back to that traditional 1-hour race, the 100-minute practice session, in which they've just gone into qualifying. Qualifying is 22 minutes per for the session. It's 10 minutes per class. You are allowed to finish the final lap you have started, but cannot go over that extra time there. So each class will have 10 minutes. It's the AMs that go first, and then it'll be the pros to follow after. And like we said, you can see the shots just over my shoulders. We are here at this fantastic circuit here in Georgia of Road Atlanta. What a layout. If you was watching on the YouTube yesterday, we saw the Petit Le Mans was here for the iRacing event yesterday. We're here today, and we can take a look at the track guide for this circuit, in which there's only one corner name in doing a little bit of research before we came on air, and that is the S's of Turn 5. Looks pretty simple, but it's very, very challenging, let me tell you. You come down the start line in towards Turn 1, very quick right-hand bend, in which you can try and look to make a move up the inside before you get to a lovely flowing part of the circuit. You're into 2, 3, 4, and 5 pretty quickly here. And it is just glorious to watch these cars come downhill and back uphill through this section of circuit. There you see 2, 3, and 4. Just a great flow to this first opening sector of the lap. And then as you come in towards Turn 5, now this part is the one with the only corner name. This is the S's, and this is all the way down until Turn 6. So really difficult section to keep within the limits. You can get a few off tracks around that area of the circuit. So that's going to be crucial for the drivers. 6 and 7, though, a good little part to maybe make an overtake up the inside and towards Turn 6. That's going to be one worth watching. 7, you're really setting yourself up for this run. 8 is a little kink that you don't really feel all the way down before we could see some absolute send-it manoeuvres in towards Turn 9. Sorry, in towards Turn 10A and 10B. You come through 9 into 10A and 10B, and that is where we should see maybe a few moves up the inside. We've seen drivers in the past around this circuit on other sort of challenges that we've seen go wide at the first part, set themselves up for the second bit. 11 and 12, you come up and over the crest of the hill, back downhill towards the start line. Again, a lovely part of the circuit just to find your rhythm and find a bit of momentum going towards Turn 1. That is your Road Atlanta circuit, and what a beautiful layout this Road Atlanta course is, and it really is a phenomenal place to come and watch some motor racing. Adrian Prada and Jan Sarni have actually just put lap times on the board. They've gone into a 1:19. As we say that, Francisco Lopez goes and breaks a 1:18.7. We'll be able to catch up with some of the action in just a few moments' time as the AM qualifying really now starting to take shape. Now, there will be no reverse grid with the 1 hour race this afternoon. This is going to be just a straight shootout. So in that qualifying session, the pros are going to want to be within that pro category sort of qualifying section. They don't want to be in the middle of the AM battles because there's no points for overall, it's points per class. And we've seen this season that that's been the biggest kind of talking point, is a few of the quicker pro drivers being stuck in a battle of AMs and just having 1 or 2 incidents going in that race. So they're going to want to try and qualify at the front. We can see here there is 17 AMs on the track for you today, and there is 12 pros out there. Obviously, a few people may be watching the United States Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas, which takes place in about an hour's time. We've got 13 of the AMs currently on who have set a qualifying lap. This is on board with Jan Sarni, and some names you might remember from Racing Unleashed, like Borja Zarzo in this category and in this field, as is Thomas Herzog, driving a Ford Mustang, which is a brave choice, as Jan Sarni moves up to 5th. Adrian Prada goes up to P4. While we're speaking of familiar faces that are around the Racing Unleashed platform, and if you've seen the likes of Borja Zarzo at the Sim Expo this week, the Assetto Corsa Championship returns on Saturday. That is huge. We're going to be back in a week's time with the in-house Assetto Corsa Championship. And the best thing we're looking forward to here, obviously, we're going to be able to tell you more information next week, as Sarni there absolutely makes a mess of this qualifying run. But with it being such a short lap, he'll get another one in. The bonus with next week, we get to see the version 2 simulators come to play. So that is going to be absolutely fantastic to see them at the forefront, and we get to see some returning faces back on the channel. But it's iRacing, and this is our focus. Road Atlanta with Lopez, who's on pit exit now. Sarni on his outlap as Kokagek comes into the pits. Lopez provisional pole at the minute. Verhoeven, here he is, P4. so far in his Lamborghini. He's stuck with the faithful Lamborghini. He didn't change to the Mustang. He didn't change to the McLaren. He is stuck with that Lamborghini. And here he comes round to start another lap. Does he improve on his final lap? No, he did not. So he stays 3/10 off the pole at the moment. Might have just been starting one lap here. So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on him. This is Leclerc here then. Coming through the final couple of corners was purple in the first split time. Improved his lap time, moves up to P9, does the Porsche driver there. So great start to see from him. Borges Arzo's on a lap. He's been at the Sim Expo, as we said, this week. Currently P12 on the standings, comes towards the line. Improves to P11, 8/10 off the pole. Very tight in qualifying at the moment. 9/10 separating the top 12 as Nyman moves up into 12th place, knocking Tunstead down to 13th. And here is Kokikek in the other Lamborghini that we are seeing out there on the circuit. Can he try and get as good a lap time on the board as possible then? Currently on an out lap, so we'll go for it obviously the next time around. And this could be absolutely crucial for this young man today. Here is Petri then, who is on a lap. You've just seen him go green through that second little split time. This is coming down the back straight then, long straight. Couple of kinks which are classed as turn 8 and 9 down this straight. And this is really now where you want to make sure you're trying to get as much momentum in towards this chicane. You can make moves up the inside in the race. Be as greedy with both curbs as you can. And he was just there. Use that runoff. It's a great big thick curb, but it ends quickly, so don't use too much of it. Middle of the road, back over to the left, flick it right to the curb, hit the apex, use that runoff just a little bit more. Lepre to the line, stays, but no, goes P6, great lap time for him. And that goes within half a second, separates the top 7 at the moment. So great little bit of qualifying action so far, so far. We're only 7 minutes in, they've still got laps to go. It's only a short lap around here, so plenty of laps in store for these drivers today. As Lopez coming down to finish another lap time here. Through the chicane of 10A and 10B he goes. He's just gone purple through that little split time you see in the split 3. Downhill, round the final corner of turn 12. And what lap time's he going to set then as he comes to the line? And he does improve by 11 thousandths of a second. So a small improvement there as Thomas Herzog is on a personal best. Not yet set a lap time. Neither has Louis Hesketh or Dominikas out there on the circuit. Here is Thomas Herzog in the great big Ford Mustang towards the line. He comes now, puts himself 14th on the board, and Scanderi manages to put himself up into P15. So 2 drivers in the AM category yet to qualify at the moment. Borges Arzo's now on an out lap. This is Partonen, who managed to get himself a race win, his first race win of the season. Last time out, comes towards the line with 700th of a second down on that last lap time he has just set. As we head towards now, this is Nyman in that Ferrari 296. Downhill he comes once again. Rounds the final corner, towards the line he comes, and doesn't set an improvement there, possibly an outlap from him to get this one on the board. I've been racing this track all day in the GR86, says Jason in the chat, and Luis Santiago has just subscribed to the channel, so thank you very much for that one. Good race, says someone else in the chat as well. So a few people in the comments just making sure they're getting predictions in or wishing drivers the very, very best here. Kokikek here then. What will he be able to do? Great low camera, get a good shot there on the concentration of his face as he pops it into P3 and goes 3/10 off the pole. Beltran there moves up into P8 in the Porsche. So again, another good lap time here. Very close grid, only a second separating the top 13. Mauser moves up into P3. Good lap from him. Here he is, 2/10 off of the pole. And Verhoeven now down to P5, but an hour's race, a lot can happen in that hour. A very long race for these drivers to tackle, so a lot can happen. And obviously the pit stop in the middle of the race as well to contend with. Here is Casper Tunstead then, down in P13. In that new McLaren 720S, new to iRacing. Only about a month or so ago, he's got Thomas Herzog just in the background there. His drivers are finishing then their final runs here. So is this already pole for Lopez? He's gone to the pit lane, so he's bailed on his lap. Where is Partonen on the circuit? That could be a crucial one here to note to see. As Casper Tunstad comes through 10A and 10B. 2 corners left to go. He's currently just over a second off the pole, down in towards turn 12 now. Flicks it through the corner, and here he comes. What's the lap time going to be as he comes towards the line? Moves up into 11th place. What about Thomas Herzog here? He improves but stays 14th. The car in the background, that then is Mauser, stays P3. He does not improve. Into the pits comes Partonen, who is 2nd place. And Verhoeven bailed as well. And the last man on the circuit, Haris Skenderi then, the Swiss driver in the Mercedes AMG. What can he do as the pros are already out on the circuit? But Skenderi finishing his lap towards the line. Any improvement on that? 2 seconds down. Doesn't say anything, so he obviously hasn't here. As Vertra now is out there on the circuit, and the pros can take their chance to try and take pole position. So congratulations to Francisco Lopez, pole position for him in his McLaren. And a great qualifying session for him. But Vertra now will be able to put in a good stint. A couple of cars in front of him. And look at this section of left, right constantly. This is the real crucial part, because you don't want to do that. That could be an off track there, which will cause you to invalidate your lap time and possibly give you a couple of track limit warnings there. Vertra now just coming through. That is turn 7. This is what they class as turn 8. And then down the straight, going to go back to the right a little bit. This is going to be classed as turn 9, that little bend there. Before you pick it up now. 12.5 minutes into qualifying. These will be the first pro lap times on the board. So we'll see what they can do. Here comes Vertra then as Lewis Woods goes provisional pole with a 1:18.0. Vertra to the line. He goes in 2nd place, just a 10th off the back of Lewis Woods then. So he drops into 2nd place. Claessens moves into 4th with Rosseth in 5th. Great to have Rosseth back out there this week. Prada moves up into P4. Eric Rosseth, great to see him. He's been in that Ford Mustang all season. Has looked strong as well. So great to see him back out on the circuit this week. Gabriel then moves up into 4th place, 3/10 off of the pole. Goey is in P7 in the class at the moment. That is Sinan de Murbas now moving up into 7th place in class. And his 7th place is tied or sort of lined up with 7th place in the AM category as well. There is Sinan de Murbas, his Racing on Leash shirt on and ready to go. Looking forward to this weekend because we've seen him race. We've seen his camera. There's been no gardening gloves. For those who don't know the story, as he races in the simulators in the Munich Racing Lounge in a pair of gardening gloves. So will they make a return on Saturday? That's going to be the key, I think, for Sinan as he comes through turn 6 into 7 now. Obviously, we're going to be seeing a different focus on Sinan de Murbas in that version 2 simulator. Munich, one of the latest lounges to have it installed. So how has the preparations gone for him going into Saturday? This is on with him then, as Rosseth moves up into P2 within 0.06 of a second off of Woods. Prada now goes into 3rd place. And it's just over a 10.5. Gabriel, purple through the 1st split, green through the 2nd split. 6th place though, because Ngoe has moved up into P5. And here comes Sinan de Murbas on a personal best throughout this. He's down in 10th. He's 0.8 of a second off that pole lap time at the moment. In pro, he moves within half a second and moves up to 7th place, just ahead of challenger Marcus Valverde here then. So a great lap time there. Claessens currently in 9th. Perez down in 10th place. Yet to see a lap time, though, from Nicholas Laubisch and Sebastian Hirsch. Laubisch has not had the rub of the green as of recent weeks and really needs to get back onto some good results to get himself back into that top 5 of the championship. Here he is. There he was. Just a bit of a lag spike there for him. Currently still not set a lap time. He's out there at the moment. A 1:18.038 is the time to beat. Perez down in 10th. Only the 12 pro drivers today. Hirsch yet to set a lap time as well. Hirsch is actually in front of him on the track. Here is Prada. Comes to cross to end another lap time. Stays within a 10th. I imagine one of them is going to be Sebastian Hirsch to cross the line. And to maybe, hopefully, put a lap time on the board. Nothing from Hirsch yet. There he is. As Gabriel now goes to the top of the timing screens. Puts it on provisional pole by 100th of a second from Lewis Woods. And then 700ths of a second from Rossith. And the man with the dining room chair as a sim rig has put it on provisional pole at the moment. Getting a simulator later in the year, he says, or early next year. He said 2 weeks ago, well, the dining room chair, he's doing him well at the moment. He's not going to want to get rid of that while he's leading the championship. Here comes Alex then on the in front of Vertra here. We've got left. We've got about 3.5 minutes left of qualifying, so drivers can still set lap times. Hirsch and Glaubisch still yet to set one. Hirsch is coming towards the end of another lap for him. As these two both look like they're preparing for a lap. Here is Sebastian Hirsch, yet to set a lap time. Coming down towards the start line now. Can he pick anything up and maybe put it up inside the top 10? Perez is on an outlap. Sebastian Hirsch to the line. And he does move inside the top 10. He moves 10th, exactly a second a pole, or nearly a second off the pole at the moment in pro. So manages to get one lap time on the board. Nicholas Laubisch he's done 3.5 laps. Still not got a valid lap time on the board. So that is crucial for him to get one on. Is this going to be the lap? I'm just looking actually here, I believe on the timing screen, the OT, and this is more towards my producer in my ear, the OT on my timing screens, if that stands for off tracks, Laubisch has had 8. He's done 3, nearly 4 laps. That is correct. So they do stand for the off tracks, which could in the race give track limit penalties. We'll wait and see. 8 off tracks. This is why Laubisch cannot get a lap time in as Vertra moves up to P5 then. And the top 5, look at that, 0.2 of a second separated by the top 5 here. So this is fantastic qualifying at the moment. The top 3 separated by less than a 10th. 8 off tracks for Laubisch. He's got to get rid of them errors. He's just pushing maybe a little bit too hard to try and find the lap time. Lewis Woods, the Scotsman, P2 at the moment. Been on the podium, not the top step though all season. Well, he'll be looking to rectify that by getting pole position and being in the best seat possible to give himself the best chance possible. He needs so little, yet so much in this qualifying session. 100th of a second, down through turn 7, up the hill, and around the left-hand kink of turn 8. He goes. As we start to drop downhill now through 9, he's going to already be looking to pick his braking zone for 10A and 10B. Using just a little bit of curb all over the left, all over the right. Pick the power up now. Flat out over the hill, round 11 he goes. Comes back across the circuit to get ready for turn 12. He was purple in the first split, personal best in that second split, and Woods to the line. I don't think it was any improvement there for himself. It was 0.06 of a second. I read the wrong person on the bottom of the screen. 0.006 of a second quicker than that of Gabriel at the moment. And it is Lewis Woods who finally puts himself on the top, on the front row of the grid. And what a start potentially to this race it could be. Lewis Woods yet to be on the top step. Always the bridesmaid this season. He's not got a result that is off the podium as well, just to point out. His drop rounds would be a non-score for not participating and a podium result. So huge for him. Prada to the line. He moves up into the top 3. They're all separated now. The top 4 are separated by 0.08 of a second. It is incredibly tight. Prada's done for qualifying, though. He's not going to get another run in the bag. Nicholas Laubisch has got a valid lap time on the board. He's gone P6 since being able to get a lap time on the board then. Plenty of drivers in the pits. I think there's still more drivers out there. Laubisch is on an outlap. Qualifying is done. That is Valverde crossing the line down on his lap time. So let's see what will happen here. Actually, 2 minutes left, apologies, of qualifying. So the drivers coming to the end of their laps now. Can get one run in. Hirsch is on a lap. He was green through the first split. Personal best at the moment for Sebastian Hirsch, who is down in P11. No improvement through that second split. Same for Prada then. And Hirsch bails. Sebastian Hirsch bails. Here's Justin Claessens then, who is bailing. What about Vertra going till the end? P5 at the moment, just looking at split time. Personal bests for him so far in this qualifying lap through 6, round 7. Nicely done, well within the track limits there on the exit. Yeah, beautifully. On board with Vertra then, the man from Finland. Needs 2.5 tenths to move himself up the order. Through 10, he goes. Nicely done through there. Oh, just a little understeer on the exit. And that's possibly going to hurt him on his run down towards 12. Very wide at the exit of 12. Yeah, his time's probably gone. He knew it himself. You can see from his reaction, he was pushing very, very hard to get that lap time in. Here is Nicholas Laubisch then, P6. And he's going right to the end. And Laubisch stays P6 at the moment. Not sure who that was in front of him, but that then is the end of qualifying. We'll bring you a full classification and a full rundown of the drivers who got where in a few moments' time. But what a grid this provides to be at the moment. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers in the Pro who will be mixing it with a AM driver or more. So that's going to be an interesting to keep our eyes on then. The classification then for qualifying is Lewis Woods, pole position for him. Gabriel will line up alongside him. Lucas Prada from Rosseth with Alex from with Vertra from Laubisch on row 3. Row 4 is Alex from Francisco Lopez, your pole man in the AM category. Sinan Demirbas is P9 with Marcus Valverde in 10th. Alexei Partonen is P11. He is second place in the AM class as well. Justin Claessens will be rounding out the top 12. P13 for Pedro Mauser with Kokek in 14th place. In Overhavenen ahead of Adrian Pereira. Then it is Petri Lepre in P17 from Sebastian Hirsch down in 18th place. Just couldn't get a lap together properly in that qualifying session. Jan Sarni 19th from Miguel Beltran. With Alvaro P21, Casper Tunstead in 22nd, Borges Orzo 23rd, Igor Perez 24th. 25th place then for Nyman, with Herzog going from 26th, Scanduri 27th, Louis Hesketh, we didn't see a lap time from him, and we didn't see one from Dominikias as well in P29. That then is your full classification on the grid order, as we are about to get ready to go racing here at Road Atlanta. The safety car will guide them away. Rolling start as always. And there you can see some 45, I believe, 35, 29 actually, 29 cars, apologies. There's a few that's not arrived tonight. There was 45 that did set pre-qualifying. So some 29 cars out there on the track. This is going to still be a fantastic race, nonetheless. As it is the calm before the storm at the moment. We get ready. Safety car takes them away now. I want to see some comments in the chat on who you think could win this race, both Pro and Am. Let's hear it in the chat and see who you think could be the ones to win this one. Rounding the final bend. There you go now. The safety car's peeled in, it's green and go here then for round 7 of the season. It's a great start from Lewis Woods as Gabriel already has to go on a defensive, not under too much pressure. Rosseth and Prada going side by side. Already in the mid-pack, there's a few cars jostling for position as they head through turn 1. A few slow to get away at the back of the pack. And it's a great start though for Lewis Woods. And look at the congestion coming into 2, 3 and 4 now. That is absolutely... There's not even any incidents. That's fantastic to see. We saw mayhem at the first race of Spa. This time out, they all filter through and get nicely adjusted to the opener of this race. 1 hour in, 1 hour to go. And already a great start for Lewis Woods. This is then down on Lopez, who's already dropped to second place in category. He lost out to Partonen at the start in the orange McLaren. He's got that at Claessens, I believe, the pro driver looking up the inside through turn 7. Lopez holding his own then on the outside and manages to hold his place there at the moment. So great to see him go. We haven't seen Louis Hesketh or that of Dominicias start this race, so we are 2 drivers short at the back of the field. But Francisco Lopez coming under all sorts of pressure from Claessens here. When Claessens isn't really his race, you could possibly use it to reel in that of Partonen, but it's still early days. So still time for drivers to work their way through. It's obviously fuel is going to be an interesting one. And that change of tyres. Will they change any or not? I don't think they will in an hour's race, but who knows? Lewis Woods, over the start he needed, already got a half a second gap just in front of him. Comfortably got away there, did the Scotsman. Can he today convert them podiums into a race win? Now we're seeing the off-tracks already for Gabriel. 3 off-tracks in the opening lap, so that is huge at the start of this race. Mauser has got ahead. Who's that? Pareda dropping and tumbling down the order. He's had a moment coming up the hill. So Adrian's going to have to go again and really have a charge through the field. This is now down behind Scanderi in the Mercedes-Benz. I say behind, he's side by side with, gets a better exit out of turn 7. Looks a little disgruntled there, does Pareda. Just get himself comfortable. He's still early in this race, long way to go. Anything can happen yet. Still side by side with Scanderi, loses out now. Nyman just behind him. Still over 50 minutes left, so anything can happen here. Pareda is quick enough and confident enough to get back in this race. That is without a doubt. 2.5 mile circuit. So he can try and come back here. That I assume is not going to be an issue for him. So let's see what will happen then. Through, that is Kokikek, who's had a moment. Down into P15 and down in last, and yeah, for turn 1 he was there. Woods, so half a second out in front at the moment, comfortably controlling this race. The good gap behind to Gabriel, who's what? He's 7 tenths clear of Rosseth here then. Prada is a couple of tenths behind. There's still a good train of cars all the way down. Laubachir P5 at the moment. Needs some good results to get back in this championship. That is for sure. He's only 2 seconds off the race lead at the moment. Here is Laubachir, and you can see, look, right on the back of Prada, who's got Ross there. The bonus for that Ford Mustang is it's grunt in a straight line. It'll be able to pull down the back straight and the start straight just enough before it gets caught in the corners. That little bit by the McLaren and the Ferrari behind, but Laubachir having a better start to his race. It's been the starts of recent weeks that has cost him places in this race. No, he hasn't actually won. Yeah, he has. He's one-time race winner this season. So he's got work to do to get back to being a one-time, to make himself a 2-time race winner. And Laubachir just a little wide there, coming up over the hill. He touches the grass a little bit, and you can see the effects of that as he's now coming under pressure from Vertra behind, but it comes to no avail. We have got some replays we can bring you now of the start of the race. It was a brilliant start from Lewis Woods. Gabriel just covered a few of the cars behind off, but not really enough to sort of go and lose time through turn 1. It was more just holding his ground at the start of the race. And up and over the hill they all went. It was a lovely clean start for the entire field. This is paraded, and this is what happened to him. Yeah, that part of the circuit's going to catch you out. Only had a spin and into the wall. So what front-end damage will he have? And look at this, look, over the grass, over the curb, sorry, onto the gravel. And you just saw the car get unsettled. And if he's kept his foot planted, well then, that is not going to help your cause. You see him on the brakes the minute the backhand steps out. This is Freak, I believe, down in to turn one, just lost it. Spun backwards. Didn't seem to hit the wall though, so not too bad from him. And I'm wondering how many off-tracks drivers have before the stewards will start to pull up on this, because Gabriel's had 8. Just looking elsewhere as well, I believe that's Vertra who's had 8. Yes, it is. So a few off-tracks here. Laubish, he's only had the 7. So not as bad as qualifying, but we are only 5 minutes in to see what he'll pick up. Casper Tunstead on the back then of Thomas Herzog in that Ford Mustang. Tunstead, we're being told in our ear, got turned by Beltran on the last lap. I'm just trying to see where Beltran is. He's P6 now. We'll try and bring you a replay of that one very soon. So being told that he had a spin, and that's what's put him down the order behind Thomas Herzog. Then Lewis Woods now coming under pressure. 6 minutes into this race from Gabriel in second place. And these two had an awesome scrap 2 weeks ago at Spa, both in race 1 and in race 2. And for Woods at the moment, through he comes and still leads this race. Gabriel's got to find an overtaking opportunity somewhere. Not close enough really to have a lunge, but he can set him up through this first part of the lap. This section is absolutely beautiful. Just flicking it left and right, constantly downhill, back uphill. And this bit becomes so tricky all of a sudden, because as you come through this part now, very easy to run wide as we saw and lose the stability of the car over the curb and have that moment. They are the fastest laps at the top of the screen, a 1:18.034 in Pro. That is set by Gabriel in second place, and then the fastest lap of a 1:18.620. Find that one out for you. Is Moiset then down in P4 in the AM category, and he is on the is trying to close down onto the back of Eno Verhoeven, then who's currently third place in class. So he's gained 2 places from the start. There is Verhoeven. This is back to Prada, still chasing that big Ford Mustang of Rosseth just in front. Ox Valverde finds himself in a good fight as well. Down in 8th place in Pro. He's got Partonen just ahead of him, and then he's got that of Ngoe behind. And we can show you the replay of Tunstead here. This is what happens. So turn around by Beltran, and it's so easy done at turn 10A into 10B. Look, side by side, Tunstead up the inside at the first apex and just gets the tap. Didn't really turn across that then of Beltran there, but just receives a tap on the rear, and enough to send him into a half slide, if you will. He managed to collect the car, but lost all momentum and speed coming out of 10B down towards turn 11 then. So horrible move for, or horrible incident there for him to be a part of. It's just them silly little taps that can cause you to lose so much in this race. It was a good move up until that point. This is looking back from Valverde now though. And that is the Pro driver behind him of Ngoe, 4P9. Was having a look, but didn't really have a lunge in towards the chicane there then. Already started lap 8 is Lewis Woods. So we really are ticking the laps off here today. This is where the driver's concentration's got to be there, because the fuel will be slowly depleting and the car be getting lighter, the tyres getting worn. Obviously not too bad in the first 10 minutes of a stint, but they've got to think about the pit strategies, when they're going to come in, make sure they've added enough fuel. Whoa. There's a little bit too much over the curb there. Gabriel behind has had 11 off tracks as well, so he's got to watch himself as Gabriel at the moment. Will not want to pick up a track limits penalty. just see. No further action for the incident. Can't quite see. I think that's for Beltran. He's got the fastest laps up, so can't quite see who that is. That's from lap 4 at turn 10B. Yeah, that is from Tunstall and Beltran. So the stewards feel that one is a no further action there then. Lewis Woods still has Gabriel following him. He's just been caught slightly in this last sector. But currently just driving nicely. He's controlling the pace, doing what he needs to do. Last time around was a little bit quicker than Gabriel by 0.03 of a second. So currently in a good window is Woods here. That's what's interesting to see. There he is. And he was saying to us 2 weeks ago that he sometimes, you know, has to shimmy his chair forward because it just starts to slide back on the wooden floor, and with it being a dining room chair, it just starts to slide back a little bit. So he has to shimmy himself forward at times. Well, he's shimmying onto the back of Lewis Woods here. They're getting a little bit closer through turn 7 to maybe have a great run now down the back straight. Through 8 he goes, and you can see he's just got his hand rested on the side. A live shimmy of the chair, I reckon, would be absolutely brilliant to see. But down towards turn 10 he comes now. Does Gabriel think for having a look? No, off the throttle, patiently going to wait to make his move on Lewis Woods. He knows there's still time to go in this race, and he knows that the front two have just got the pace over Rosseth here in P3. That Ford Mustang looking majestic out there at Road Atlanta today and doing a terrific job. Bit of action here then. Beltran going side by side towards turn 10 again. And this time losing out to Jan Sarni. So, oh no, tapped around. Straight and back up, both into the wall of the bridge. What damage will that give to the pair of them? And I believe Beltran there is immediately returned to the pit lane. That's what it's saying on the timing screen. So he's immediately done. Will he come back out on track? That's going to be the biggest question. He's there, parked in the pits. So will he return to the track? But again, another incident, Beltran at the chicane, this time on the exit. Here's your leader in Am. Alexei Partanen trying to back up the win he had at Spa by getting another one here today. He's doing a good job to do so in this race early on at the moment. But let's see if he can carry that momentum going forward. He's got Valverde close to the back of him. He's also catching onto the rear of Sinan de Murbas here then. And the orange McLaren just behind the green Ferrari, that is, behind the green McLaren, that is Lopez. So there is Alex Ngui. Behind him is Lopez, second place in that category. Let's see as the camera pans out. Is Beltran still there? It says he's still in the pit lane. His time is still ticking away. Yeah, he's still in there, so will he come back out? He's gone a lap down now to the field. So he'll have some big work. This is a replay of the incident, what happened here. That's a look at that. The move was already done. He just gets a better run out of the chicane, and it just taps into the rear. And look at that, look, the move is done, fully complete. Just gets a better exit into the back, taps him on the front, and really, where does the Ferrari go? Because after he's been tapped, he's now kind of being pushed by the Porsche. And the trajectory of that Ferrari puts them both into the wall of the bridge. And that is Beltran's race well and truly done and dusted. He has gone. I can confirm that he has gone. Drive-through penalty for Thomas Herzog for contact today. Then we haven't seen that one, so not sure what happened there between Thomas Herzog, but he's got himself a drive-through penalty. And this is Sinan de Murbas now with a train of cars coming through the backfield. And in towards turn 12 they go. We're only 15 minutes into this race, so strap up. There's still plenty of drama and action to be had here. Look at that, there's about 6 or 7, maybe 8 cars in this train, all working their magic. Gabriel still sat within 3/10 of Woods. Just looking on my time screens here, de Murbas there, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars all with them. And Nino Verhoeven, your championship leader, is on the back. There is Thomas Herzog in for that drive-through. Well, one thing he'll be able to do is he'll be able to finish P14 if he's last, because of the fact Beltran's retired, no Louis Hesketh or Dominic Yes in this one. But Partonen is in a dangerous position here, as is Lopez. He's in that mix of a pro fight. He's got a couple of cars between himself and his nearest rival in this race in Lopez. But this is where we've seen all season long the pro drivers look a little impatient against the AM drivers themselves. Now, Partonen holding his own at the moment, and he's absolutely doing an amazing job. You just have seen a few races before that the pros just get a little anxious stuck behind the AMs and try and make a move, and there's contacts normally made. We're hoping not today. And De Merbas is no slouch neither, let's point out. He is a quick driver. And I'm sure he's going to be absolutely trying his hardest out there to pull away from this train. And I'll be kind of glad that it is an AM driver just sat behind him. That's Igor Perez, who is in the wall. And where's that? That's coming out of turn 1, where he's had a moment then, the pro driver. There's no one else around him, so has he had a moment all on his own? There is Casper Tunstad gaining on him. He did hit the wall with the front end of the car, so what that's done to the front end of the Porsche, we'll have to wait and see. Lost it all on his own. Here is Vertra then, P6 at the moment. He is on his own, well ahead of Sinan De Merbas, but a couple of seconds off the back of Nicholas Laubischer. He's running his own race. This is back on board with Sinan. And there you see Partonen, Goe, Valverde. Porsche Zorzo's moved up to 6th in class. He's going to try and hunt down after this pack. There he is. Move happening maybe just behind as well between Sarni and Pereira. No, nothing happens there. Porsche Zorzo then gone from the Sim Expo with Racing Unleashed today back to Madrid to do this race. So fantastic stuff from him. Work doesn't stop. Pereira, after that opening lap or second lap moment, back up to 9th in class, and he's on the back of a couple of cars in category as well. Then this could take him up into that top 6 and propel him up. A few more points in offer for him. Ooh, little wide there from Sarni, just in front. Didn't seem to even bother Pereira, that didn't at all. His eyes didn't open at the chance of maybe a... Through turn 7 then. Wipers on, hand on his head. He just looks so casual. Absolutely brilliant from the young man. You just wonder how much he's losing in a straight line, maybe with a bit of damage to the front of that car, down in towards 10A and 10B as they flick it through. We can bring you a few replays as well at the moment. 18 minutes left into this race. This is Thomas Herzog, and this is what he got the penalty for. Let's see another angle of this. This is on the back. Yeah, he just came across there, didn't leave the car's width as the McLaren was up the inside. And this is Perez having his moment. Just the rear round she went. Little glance off the wall, coming through turn 1. So Thomas Herzog drive-through penalty there, just chops the nose, or chops the whole car really, as he was entering into the chicane. Did not leave that car's width. As he's back into the pit lane, it's saying on the timing screen is Thomas Herzog. Driving in again. Now, is this his pit stop in this race? Is he trying to get it done early? Pulls into his box now. And just waits for his pit stop to be done. Keep an eye on the timer there that is counting on the timing screens for him in the pit lane then. This is back with Sinan De Merbas now. Partonen has lost out to Ngoe, so he has lost out to another pro driver. That only puts Valverde in between himself and Lopez in category at the moment. Sinan Demirbaş now starting to defend going into turn 1. Herzog in the pits for a while here at the moment, 30 seconds and counting. And hasn't he got the run on Demirbaş up in towards turn 4. He has indeed. He gets up the inside. That is a lovely move from Alex there. Absolutely inch perfect. And Partonen now having to defend a little bit from that of Marcus Valverde, a pro driver. But Sinan Demirbaş has already been dropped by Alex there then. So Demirbaş just on the back foot a little bit. And Herzog's in the pits for over a minute. It's out the pits he comes now. Been in there for 1 minute, 1 second was his pit stop. That's going to hurt him in this race. But is he going to the end now? I think that's a little too early to go to the end. Valverde then trying to find a way past Partonen to have a look on then Sinan Demirbaş to be in that top 8 in this pro battle. But Partonen as well is trying to find his way past Sinan Demirbaş. Down through turn 12, Sarni's moved up to 7th in the AM category. He's now got past the Porsche, and he can hunt after Borja Zarzo. Rosseth, I've noticed, is just bringing that gap down to the leaders. This is Petri in AM. He's 5th in the AM class. He's on the back then of that of Sebastian Hirsch. Just looks like he struggled a little bit out there today. Yeah, just keep your eyes on Rosseth. There we go, look. The top 5 starting to come back together a little bit. And Rosseth has just been bringing that gap down ever so slightly to the back of Gabriel and Lewis Woods. So this could turn into a little fight between these. Jason in the chat saying great racing so far, clean as well. And indeed it is. Only been the 1 or 2 incidents here at the moment. Gabriel doing what he needs to. He does look a little further away from that wheel than he was a few moments ago. Back with Sinan Demirbaş though, as Partonen's managing to look up the inside of Sinan, down towards turn 1. Sinan looks to go defensive, but he's got Valverde side by side with Partonen, and this is sometimes the worries between the pro and the AMs. Lopez is looking for moves as well, and all managed to stay as they was going into turn 1. But that could have been so much worse for Partonen in this fight while he leads in this AM class. Claessens and Verhoeven are on the back of this train as well. Well, Verhoeven nearly picked up places over his championship rivals. But now Demirbaş starting to come under pressure. There is Verhoeven in the red and black and yellow Lamborghini. Up 2 places so far and really in this fight. And also, Mauser and Hirsch, they're not a million miles away behind, neither is Petri. So they could easily soon enough be on this queue of cars. There they are, look, in the background. They could easily be on this, this train, if you will. They come through turn 12 to start their 19th lap of the race. Claessens just having a look on the back of Lopez here. Hasn't made the move, but it's just worrying time sat in the box watching the pros fight the AMs for not an actual position, just a track position. At the end of the day, you just beg that they don't make contact because you do not want to spoil the other classes' race. Still looking tight to the back of Lopez as he comes through into turn 7 now. Demirbaş is still at the front of the pack. There's Verhoeven. You can see in the background the 3 behind have gained on this train already, so they are starting to make inroads. The gap between Verhoeven and Mauser then is 1.6 seconds at the moment. So this is going to be worth keeping our eyes on. Sinan Demirbaş, you have to say, great defensive drive from him at the moment. He's kept them behind him for quite a while. The only person to get away is Alex, and he was 8 seconds up the road. Top 5 battle as well. Keep your eyes on them gaps, because look at how tight that is. In the top 5, there they all are. Lewis Wood's just stretching his legs a little bit, it looks like, from Gabriel at the moment. Prada just patiently waiting. This as well, this could be the calm before the storm, because they've got that pit stop to come, which we're expecting anyway within the next 10 minutes, I suppose. We're going to start to see drivers coming for their pit stop. And this could be key around here. Depending on that extra second or tenth or two of fuel, could win or lose you this race, because the top 5 seems so well matched at the moment. They're the closest fights on track at the moment. And Woods, lap by lap, you see there, look just slightly quicker than Gabriel, apart from lap 18. And it's by such a thin margin, it has been quicker as well. Right, the pit stops look like they may have started. Lopez in. He's out that train and he's came into the pits. This is clearly the undercut strategy from Francisco Lopez. As into the pit lane he comes. He's going to find his box, pulls in now. Stationary he is. Up on the jacks. Wait to see how long this pit stop takes him. Not yet down and released. I reckon we're looking around the 20-second mark for a pit stop. He's down off the jacks, car still being fueled. So is that a change of tyres for him there? That's why he went up. 20 seconds have gone, 20.75 in the pits. That's obviously not the time for on the limiter and off the limiter. Laubish has got past Prada then, so Laubish moves himself up into P4. He's now on the back of Rosseth, with Prada trying to hunt him down. These three have lost touch of the top 2. Gabriel comes in, maybe for the undercut as well. Looks like he's fiddling with what looks to be the mouse of the computer there. Is that just changing something on his strategy? Let's wait and see then what happens. But he parks it into the box. Who else is in? Marcus Valverde. He wants to get out of that train. He's coming to the pits as well. Keep our eyes on Gabriel's pit stop time then. So only the 3 drivers in the pit so far. There is Claessens. Gabriel, 18.8 seconds. He's already exiting the pit lane. Gonna have a little bit of traffic in front of him. There's another one. And that is Pareda. And if these drivers have any sort of, you know, spotter or anything in their ear, maybe should say to them, he's the race, he's in second place in this race. Don't fight him too hard, don't ruin your race. As Valverde, 19.9, comes out with a car between him. So in fact, no, Tunsted's just got ahead of him on the timing screens, but Valverde's come out ahead of Lopez, where he was originally. And that fight just is as close as it was before. So Lopez gone for the undercut. Well, his tyres will be back up to a nice temperature. Valverde's just got to get his up to that temperature now. Come on, trail-breaking racers in the chat at the moment. That is Sani who is in there, and for Partanen. And for Nyman as well. Sani now into the pits. He comes out of that gaggle, of course. He's looking to make a stop. So 19.9 was the pit stop from Marcus Valverde. That'll buy you possibly a place or two. Perez in, Tunstead in. That's going to help out that of Valverde and Lopez. In fact, Lopez has got ahead of Valverde there on the timing screens. So Lopez has already got past him. There they are, look. So Lopez's undercut has helped him get past that of Marcus Valverde in this race. Rosseth now comes into the pits, reacting then to Gabriel. In he comes. There's Alexi Partonen. He's now going to box as well. He's reacting to a few drivers that's come in that train that he was a part of. Leader in the AM category. May have been told now that Lopez has got it clear of Valverde, so get yourself into the pit lane. Gabriel, whose pit stop was 18.87. What is Rosseth's going to be? It's a little longer. It's a lot longer. It's 20.4. She's going to lose out to Gabriel by a bigger margin than what he came into the pits there then. So you wonder why maybe that extra bit of length on the pit stop. Has Gabriel fueled enough? Surely he has. Partonen coming out of the pits. Lopez is coming through. Partonen's on pit exit. Where is Lopez? There's Lopez, there's Partonen. So Lopez with the undercut, and he's through on the AM leader. Francisco Lopez takes the lead here in AM. What, net lead in AM. What a strategy call from the McLaren driver. Now then, Eno Verhoeven, you are technically the leader at the moment, but what do? You was also in that train of cars. Was Partonen stuck behind Sinan de Merbas for too long? Race leader into the pits, Lewis Woods. He's been followed in by Prada. De Merbas now into the pits as well. But Francisco Lopez gets the jump. And now has Gabriel done the same thing for that pro lead? Has his undercut worked? Marcus Valverde on the back of Partonen. Woods has done 18.8. Here comes Gabriel. I don't think he's managed to get past him. 18.3 for Woods, 18.8 for Gabriel then. That is as we were. You see the pit stop graphic at the bottom of your screen. Sinan de Merbas is having a... well, that might be the in and out time as well. That's total pit lane time. There you go, 22.1 I think was in his box. We've got Karkikek in the pits, as is Nyman. Valverde's trying to look for a way past at this moment. There is Lewis Woods on the back of Borges Orzo, giving him a flash of the light, saying, come on, mate, out the way. Got a race to win. Gabriel's trying to get closer. He's lost time through the pit stops. Woods technically racing Orzo for position. Or for on-track position, should I say. And he's really flashing the lights at Borges Orzo, giving him the hurry up. This is your net race leader, and this could fall into the hands of Nicholas Laubish, who's not yet pitted in this race. Borges now dives into the pits. So just being held up that half a lap could really have helped Nicholas Laubish here. As you can see, Woods looks still trying to generate the heat and the temperature into the tyres. Verhoeven in the pits. Theory is stationary at the moment. Lopez will be coming around the circuit. I believe he's just coming down in towards the final corner now. Verhoeven is away. I believe Lopez should have this one done. You'll see him at the bottom of your screen. Through he goes. Where is Partonen? There's Partonen now. And he'll get through as well, just on Eno Verhoeven. But it is 1, 2, 3 together as Nicholas Laubish, the pro race leader, comes into the pit lane now. And just with that little bit of time that Woods was stuck behind Borges Orzo, can Laubish make up any momentum in the pit lane? Stops in his box. Up he goes. Alex Ngoyi now takes the lead. Claessens goes into second place. There is your race leader, who was stuck in that train with Sinan de Merbas. Here comes Lewis Woods. Laubish then, not yet done in the pit lane. He's leaving the pit lane now, 19.9. He'll be off the limiter. I think he's jumped that of Prada and Rosseth. Prada jumped Rosseth in the pits. Here comes Laubish then, and he is in front of the pair of them. So a great stop for Nicholas Laubish, puts him into a net third place in this race at the moment, and it was all going to kick off in the pit stops. And Prada and Laubish have got the jump over the Ford Mustang. And that is great to see. A good strategy from Laubish there, putting him into a net third place. Pretty much Prada there being pushed by that huge Ford Mustang through turn 7, as we're just over the halfway mark in this race. See Laubish coming under pressure now from that of Prada, who pulls out. He's going to look up the inside in towards the first part of turn 10. Can he hold it there? Contact's made between the pair of them, and Prada goes around. Rosseth manages to come through, but contact mid-corner. And Lucas turned around. Well, unfortunate for him. He's now under pressure from Vertra, who's going to try and make a move into turn 1, looking up the inside. They both pass Claessens, and Vertra up the inside at turn 1. Prada still holding it strong around the outside line. Claessens is on the pit exit, still together through 2, now into 3. Prada gives him the room, manages to get the move finished here. Just an unfortunate error. Hopefully we could take a look back on that one. Coming up to that 37-minute mark. Ian Overhaven, and then third place in class, your championship leader, as Alex Ngui now pits from the net race lead. That should give it back to Lewis Woods. But this is your AM championship leader. He's got Valverde of Pro right behind him. He's got Partonen of AM, his rival, right in front of him. He can see his other rival of Lopez disappearing up the road. Lopez was on pole, let's not forget. Didn't see what happened to him clearly at the start, but Partonen got in front, hasn't looked back since. Down through turn 11 into 12 they come now. Harvard still just sticking glued to the back of that Ferrari behind. He's not come off his tracks at the moment, and is still coming through with the Ferrari. And Nicholas Laubish, 15-second post-race penalties. That time will be added on to his race time at the end of the race, due to contact. That can only be the contact with Prada at the chicane at the moment. We can take a look at the replay here. This is on a different angle, look, and you just see, yeah, Prada just turns in a little too much, taps the side. They're fully alongside each other, and Prada just doesn't leave enough space. Laubish doesn't leave enough space. This is probably the best angle we're going to see, look. Yeah, just turns in, clips the Ferrari, round goes Prada. So that's a 15-second post-race penalty. That time will be added at the end. At the moment, that 15 seconds will drop him back behind Prada. So he needs to get a move on in this race, does Lucas, because he's not going to want to drop out of that 15-second window. And Rosseth obviously sat net third position now. Down the hill in towards turn 6. There's your pit stop times on screen. Just looking at Gable, 33 off track, so Lewis Woods 23, so it's got we've been told it's a rough estimation, so it might not be actually 33, but got to be careful. He's got to be careful. He's obviously trying to gain every inch he can and every split tenth or thousandth possible to get closer to the back of Lewis Woods. Kevin in the chat saying it doesn't look like that that Laubish touched the back there of Prada. It looks like he got his rear left on the dirt and span from that. It's interesting to see it. I feel there was definite contact there, because you do kind of get the rear left on the dirt at part of the circuit. You kind of cut across that little dirt patch, the other side of the curve. This might show us a bit better of it. Look, yeah, you're fully on the dirt there. Is Petri coming through the chicane, so you definitely had to be contact. Being told in our ear that there definitely was. So Kevin in the chat saying he got it on the dirt, but yeah, it was just, you can definitely tell from the reaction of the car that it was definitely tapped around. Up the hill then into 2 and 3. It's just quieting down a little bit now since the pit stops. Petri on the back of Mauser here. Then this is P4 and 5 in that AM category. So all just quieting down just a touch here. There's the tricky section. Look, you see Mauser just in front, just getting a little too far on the exit over the curb onto that bit of runoff, and that's where we see the car start to get unsettled. We saw it then earlier with Pareda in the race into 7, where it really slows down, and then you're flat out now for so long as you come down this back straight towards turn 10A and 10B. Has just calmed down a little bit. Just looking at the timing screens here, Pareda's on the back of Sarni. We've got this fight happening on screen now. Verhoeven's close to Partonen as well, pretty close at the moment. This is Pareda then. Just trying to get closer to that of Sarni up front. Pulls out to have a look, can't do it. So at the moment, fastest lap still the same. Mauser and Wood still your fastest lap holders in the 2 different categories, in Pro and AM. Pro obviously the light blue on the side of your screen, and AM the darker blue on the position numbers. Here comes Pareda looking up the inside at turn 1, gets fully alongside, squeezed as much as he could possibly be squeezed. Can't get it done there though. He'll have to try again down in towards turn 6. Great defending that from Sarni, left him just enough room on the inside of turn 1, and that was enough to be just distracting. And coming through, Sarni's messed up on the uphill section. That's going to give a great run to Pareda. He had a moment there earlier in the race. Up the inside though stays Sarni in towards turn 6. Great respect given from both young men. Now into turn 7. And on the outside line, the black car is Pareda. A little moment for Sarni on the exit, and Pareda sails through. That's a great bit of racing. And that's all came from turn 1 there. But now Sarni back in the slipstream of Pareda down towards 10. Pareda defending that inside line. Sarni's going to have to go the long way around at the first part. Brakes so late, goes as deep. And it doesn't work out for him. And Pareda through, and actually now, because of that, has gapped Sarni a little bit more. So a great bit of racing there. This is Mauser then, with Lepre on the back of him. Not sure what's happened to Scanderi. He's actually 6 laps down. I don't believe he's in this race. He's out. So something happened to Scanderi there in the Mercedes-Benz. But this is 4th and 5th in class. Pedro Mauser versus Petri. Into that slow turn 7, now back on the gas, down towards 8, 9 and 10. Just nice and easy. Lewis Woods, tell you what, has controlled this race. An absolute dream out front. 0.8 of a second he's got since the pit stops. That gap has obviously widened since then. Thomas Herzog's now got past Kokek, who is in the pit lane. And this is where it benefits to stay in this race, because if other drivers make mistakes around you, retire from the race, end up having to pit again, you can benefit. Thomas Herzog now running 12th in class due to the retirement of Beltran, Skenderi, and now Kokakek in the pit lane. Herzog being able to just pick up a few more places, be able to pick up a few more points. Verhoeven on Porten and Lepre on Mauser, they're the closest fights on circuit looking at the timing screen. There is Verhoeven and Porten then. Just looking at them last lap times, but again, so evenly matched between these two. Lopez is gone, that's 1.8 seconds between Lopez and Porten. This is on board with Verhoeven then, coming through the final corner. He's got Valverde right behind him as well at this point. But he's not worried about what Valverde is doing behind him. He's bothered about what Alexei Porten is doing in front of him. Up into 2 and 3 and 4. And we can show you what happened to Freak here then. This is why he's in the pit lane, we do believe, in this race. So he's coming up through the S's on the outside. Oh, just CC. And then a huge hit into the wall there. Rear bumper flying. Goes backwards, and it's just, he bounced off that first, that sort of middle curb before coming back to the left. Was unstable coming to the left-hand side. And then just around he went through the rest of the circuit. So that isn't what you want to see there, but Verhoeven here is really now putting pressure on the back of Porten, who goes a little defensive there into turn 10. Verhoeven is not really close enough to lunge at the moment. So let's see what's happening here then. Valverde with the wipers on. There's no rain around for today. There we go then, just steady through turn 1. It's very, very patient into this last 13 minutes of the race. This is where it's so easy to get it wrong. Everybody gets it bang on through there then. So Porten at the minute, second in the AM class. He's got Verhoeven just behind him, who's championship leader in AM. Obviously, Laubish has still got that 15-second gap, 15-second time penalty, sorry, to his name at the end of the race. He's only 11 seconds clear of Prada at the moment. In fact, may even drop behind Vertra in this one. But this is Porten and Verhoeven then. Verhoeven now just has a look this time. Tucks back in behind. Valverde's there. De Merbas not far off the back of Valverde. Has he got a better second half race pace? Petri Lepre's got past Mauser, and that's for 4th and 5th. That was the other close fight happening. So Petri's got himself ahead. And Mauser's going to have to try and come back at him here. Also got Paredes on the back of Sarni still. That is another fight developing nicely. And Kokak still sat in the pits. So that is probably the end of his day. You just see the sun setting, the light starting to take over from the McLaren here. So as we move into the evening time, track temperatures will just be getting a little cooler. Just coming down this back straight in towards turn 10 there. Just seeing Petri just do something with his microphone a moment there. So able to have, because of such a long straight, he's able to just take his time and just manage to talk to who he needs to speak to. still be able to stay in front now. He's just got a gap that of Mauser just a little bit. He ran a little wide there. He just saw at the final corner. So Petri at the moment doing exactly what he needs to do. He's got ahead. He's just now got to steadily build this gap. P4 overall is still good points on offer. So he's just got to be careful on what he does in this race. Mauser's going to want to come back to him. He's still got the fastest lap though in the AM category. Pareda on the back of Sani, that was within a tenth, or was within a tenth. That time is now starting to tumble back. Not sure what's happened to Pareda there. Mauser at the moment, down 2 places, P5 in the AM category. Nice, quiet end to this race. Nothing too dramatic at the moment. Although something's happened to Gabriel out front. He's now dropped to 1.8 behind and has got Laubish within a couple of tenths. There is Laubish. Rossef's dropped off the back of Laubish. This is a fight between a couple of back markers. That is cost 6, 8, 9. That is Nyman then, who's just been overtaken by Pareda. Who's the Porsche? That's Laubish off. What's just happened to Laubish? I've literally just looked up and Laubish sideways. Round he goes with that 15-second time penalty. It was a back marker in the side of him. And if it doesn't rain, it pours on this man at the moment. So Rossef is now on the podium. Prada is near him. I was just trying to find out who the Porsche was. That maybe Igor Perez, who was around that, who's in front of Gabriel as well. But Gabriel had dropped right off the back of Woods. And now Laubish has been turned around by a back marker. So we said it's nice and a nice quiet end to this race. Well, it's all of a sudden just became a bit more electric. And Laubish, who's got 15 seconds added to his end of race time anyway, well, that's going to really put him down the standings. That could put him behind Claessens, who is 8th in class, and that's where he'll finish for Nicholas Laubish. And who's that now? That's Pareda with, is that Sani he's fighting with? Believe it is still, yeah, it is. There then in front is the Porsche of Perez. No, of Alvaro, sorry. So this is for 7th, 8th and 9th in class at this stage of the race. I'm just trying to work out. So Gabriel is around that then of Igor Perez's Porsche. So that would have been the green Porsche that Gabriel was around. But this is the move then coming in towards turn 10. Pareda still trying to look to get past Sani, but can't find that way of doing so at the moment. And this fight's been raging on for a little bit. But drama between the leaders at the very end of this race. We're into that final 7 minutes. As now Pareda looking up the inside again at turn 2. Sani gives him a bit more room this time. Pareda's not as much alongside as he'd have wanted to be. And Sani can easily keep ahead there for P8. They are really catching on Alvaro just in front. This is back down to Casper Tunstead on the back of Nyman for P10 and 11. Tunstead, who was obviously spun around at the chicane earlier on in the race. There is Perez, who I believe has let the leaders go. He's got Rossef behind him, so we'll hopefully be letting Rossef go down the straight. And we can show you the replay then of what happened to Nicholas Laubish here then, because he came out of turn 7, he's up the inside. You know what, I think that could be more on Laubish than the back marker. He gets up the inside late, drifts across the left-hand side of the track, and the Ferrari's still there. I don't really know where he wants the Ferrari to disappear to. Maybe the Ferrari could have got a slower exit being a lap down. But cars don't just disappear. That's going to be interesting to see what the stewards will think on that one. Obviously, he's hurt himself in the race, so that's enough punishment as it is for Laubish. But yeah, he just drifted across the left-hand side of the circuit. Here goes Tunstead. No, thinks better of it. Tucks back in behind through the chicane. Now trying to get a run through 11 into 12, maybe down towards turn 1, the McLaren driver. This is looking forward from Casper Tunsted's point of view in the cockpit. Coming up, great run out of turn 1. But because 2 and 3 and 4 are so tricky, kind of is for nothing. Down towards the S's now. Oh, clatters the curb hard there. Back to the left, over he goes. Bit of a moment there over the curb, just got a little too greedy. All of a sudden now as well, by the way, Rosseth is a couple of seconds behind Gabriel, so he's been held massively by the back marker, by the green Porsche behind. He got within a couple of tenths of Gabriel, but the back marker has held him huge amount of time. There you see the gaps, look, from lap 36 to lap 41. A huge amount of time. For Lewis Woods, this is, you know, what he needs. He can now just bring the car home with 4.5 minutes left to go. He can bring the car home. This is the fight, though, between Partonen and Verhaven. Race winner's probably gone. Lopez is well up the road. But Verhaven will want some more points in this race. He'll want that final extra handful of points because Lopez is gaining a good chunk on him here. And this is the stage of the season where you have one eye on that championship standings. And this the battle for second place in the class. Take out Valverde, he's obviously the pro driver. You've got Mauser as well, still on the back of Petri for 4th and 5th. They're nowhere near the back of this pack, though. There's some 12 seconds off the back of these two. Galabis just have a moment there. Think he may have done. This is on the rear bumper then of Partonen. I believe Verhaven just had a moment mid-corner coming through the S's. But he really closes up through turn 7, doesn't he? Now he's a little bit closer. Now, can he use that slipstream? He's going to have the kink left of 8, the kink right of 9, and then the heavy braking zone of turn 10. Can he get close enough for maybe a look up the inside or around the outside? There's only one way to find out. 2 minutes 50 left on the clocks. We've got enough for at least 3 more laps, depending where the leader is on track at the moment. He wasn't close enough, was Verhaven. The Lamborghini's just not seemed to have the legs today. Just hasn't seemed to have the legs to get alongside enough and past. Does seem to all be under the brakes that Verhaven is the one who's to catch up here. Here's Lewis Woods. He's coming towards the back end of the lap, looking at the timing screen as we flick to him now. So he's on the back straight. So we've got what? Coming up to the 58-minute mark. I reckon we'll probably be closer to the 58. I think we've got 2 laps to go here. I've got 2 as he crosses the line, because it's 1:18 there doing a lap. So cross the line for 2 to go. Nyman's got past Tunstead for 10th and 11th in the AM category. No, he hasn't. They're still side by side. Tunstead is now ahead of Nyman. Great move at the chicane. That's the way to get it done. Nyman there a little slow out of it as well. He's lost a lot of ground to Tunstead. This is back with Sarni and Pareda then, who've been hammer and tong for so long now. Through 6 into 7. Late lunge, no, gets very close to the rear bumper though of Sarni, does the black Ferrari of Pareda. This is where he can go down the start straight and try to put on another couple of inches closer to maybe have a look into turn 10. Not close enough. But these know they've got 2 laps left. Pareda will know he's got 2 laps left because the leader is behind them. Not closely behind them neither, so he's got a bit of time yet of these two. Well, actually, I don't know. Not a million miles away is Lewis Woods. Here comes Pareda now, though, having a look into turn 1. There's Woods in the background, and Pareda coming up the inside of Sarni. He's tried it twice. Has he got it done this 3rd time of asking? They're still side by side into 2, and no, he doesn't have it done. They tap. Pareda taps Sarni. Into the wall he goes. And the rear of the Ferrari. Round she went. Lewis Woods on the final lap of the race. The bridesmaid could finally become the bride, but he's got half a lap to go. And for Pareda there, just at the rear of Sarni. And into the wall they went. Now, I'm looking at my timing screen. I believe Partonen, from what I'm reading, is on the back of Francisco Lopez here with Eno Varvanen. They are. So the AM leaders are right there. One to go for them. Lewis Woods then at the moment. Is going to take this race win. He's coming into the final chicane now. And for Lewis Woods, what a day. He's not won a race all season. He's going to finally come to the line. Pareda's got a 20-second post-race penalty. And Lewis Woods wins for the first time here at Racing Unleashed. And he will take the checkered flag. Gabriel P2, Rossith will be P3. Back to this great fight in Amno. They're on the back straight. They've got Thomas Herzog, who just needs to pull to one side and get out the way. But Lopez could be using him here. Here comes Partonen to have a look on Lopez. Lopez is slow. He's out of fuel. Verhavenen's got through for second. Lopez is incredibly slow. He pitted early. He's out of fuel. And it's going to be Alexei Partonen on the last lap, who will take his second win of the season. And that will do nicely for Eno Verhaven then to manage to get points over his championship rival. Where is Lopez? He is crawling to the line. Could Petri get him? He's going to. Petri and Mauser move up an extra spot, and that is cruel for Lopez at the very end. They managed to nick it at the line. He is inches away. That is Sebastian Hirsch. That one isn't going to matter for him. He crosses the line now. There, though, was Borges Arzo. That was tight. But Francisco Lopez runs out of fuel on the very last lap, or maybe just before, because he was well in the distance. And on the last lap, Partonen gets past him, but fuel costs him this race win. And Alexei Partonen can take his second win of the season. Lewis Woods can take his first. We'll hopefully get to speak with the drivers momentarily. But what a race that was. It was quiet just before the pit stops. Bit of mayhem just after. Again, that little quiet spell in the middle. And at the end, it was a massive bit of drama. Incidents there. Pareda got that 20-second post-race penalty that'll be added on as well. So we'll get that final classification to you as soon as we can on the screen. Obviously, Laubish as well had the 15 seconds to his name. But an absolute cruel way for Francisco Lopez at the end of that race there. That was so unlucky for him. One lap. One lap is all he ran out by. But Petri will manage to get onto the podium once again for Verhaven. Huge points in the championship. We can take a look at the final classifications. And Lewis Woods from Gabriel, second place. Then it was Eric Rossif, Laubish, obviously with that 15 seconds added on to his time at the end. So that'll put him around the P7 area, I assume. So I assume that Prada will go up, as will Virtue. Alexandre will be up a place as well. Laubish will probably slot into P7. Claessens 8th, Valverde 9th, Fernando Merbas, Sebastian Hirsch and Igor Perez. That is your pro classification. And and Am here. Alexei Partonen from Eno Verhaven. Petri Lepre then P3. Pedro will be P4. Lopez P5. Borges Arzo 6th. Very close at the end. As there is Lewis Woods on screen at the moment, and I can't see the rest of the results. We just got Lewis Woods' face pop up on the screen there. But you saw everybody else's name. Obviously, that 20-second penalty added to the back of Pareda at the end of that one as well. We're going to try and get a few of the drivers in for an interview in just a few moments' time as well. But just looking at the chat there, Jason Brooks, why even chance it with the fuel? I have to agree. You know, you want to be safe. We all know that you want to run as little fuel as possible to make that car as fast as possible, but don't risk it when he did all the hard work as well, didn't he? Let's not forget he was behind Valverde and behind Partonen before the pit stops. And Partonen didn't seem to have a strong race after the pit stops because he was under pressure from Verhaven for quite a while. So Lopez had this race won and just chanced it with the fuel and has gone from first to 5th, and that is huge for Verhoeven in terms of the points. Let me tell you, that is going to be absolutely mega there. We can now speak with the man we saw on screen a few moments ago, Lewis Woods. We can chat to now. Lewis, congratulations on the first race win of the season.
Thank you.
Just talk us a little bit through your race, because it was a race of two halves for you, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it started in qualifying where I lost maybe 0.05 in turn 5, so I got very lucky with getting pole in the first place, which is very important, although staying in the lead here with Gabriel being so close is quite hard, where I was fuel saving quite a lot to try and defend from that and keep the pace up. So if he's able to stay within 0.05 or 0.5, which he did, then it's very hard for me to get away, and he has quite good tyres. So I just had to wait till the pits.
And it looks like it was the pits that really got that job sort of, or the race sort of won for you, wasn't it? Because you gapped him out the pits, and that was the real crucial thing, to be able to make yourself feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had a good chance because I knew that we'd come out in traffic, and he got held up by a slight amount, and then he refueled, I think, a bit more than me. I gained 1 second in the pits, which was very important. Because on the outlap, I think I lost maybe 1.2 seconds. So, yeah, it was quite important.
And then at the end of the race, it looked like you got held by a back marker for a brief moment. That obviously gave you then the 2-second window that you needed to bring it home.
Yeah, it was quite unfortunate for him because he was driving very well, but I think the traffic losses that we had kind of equalised in the end. So I was quite glad that I was able to pull away in the end.
Well, Lewis, congratulations on the victory today. We'll hopefully see you out there in 2 weeks' time at Suzuka. Well done on your first race win of the season.
Thank you.
Lewis Woods, your pro race winner for today. What a great drive it was from the young man there who brought it home. The Scotsman leading the way in pro then. As it was a fantastic night. We can now speak with Portinen, your AM race winner. Alexei, race win, but I don't think you expected that maybe at the end.
No, not at all. Like, I thought our battle was against Eino, and I was completely focusing on him on the almost the whole second half after the pits, but I was really surprised that Lopez ran out of fuel, and of course it's not possibly the way I want to win, but at this point I take everything I can get.
It's points for you in this championship, and we're at that stage of the season, aren't we, where points really do mean a lot more. So that race win is huge for the championship today.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it will be tight, and I have to win every race, last of the races, so I can have a chance against the top two, Eino and Lopez. But of course, I will still push as fast as possible and try to take every point I can get and keep this roll going.
Now, I just want to talk about the early stages of the race. You got ahead at the start, but you was in a train of cars behind Sinan Demirbas, the pro driver, for such a long time that anything could have happened. And there was one brief moment where Valverde looked to make a move on you. Talk us through that. As an AM driver racing in with the pros, what's the nerves like when you're in them battles, obviously knowing that your rivals are behind you?
Well, I think the good part about the split of pro and AM drivers is that if you can, at least for me, if I can see that there's pro drivers that are calm and don't try to overtake me, then I can calm down because there's at least one car between me and my closest rival. So I think for me it calms me down, and I can focus better on my driving and pace and possibility strategies.
Well, Alexei, congratulations on the race win today. We hope to see you in 2 weeks' time at Suzuka, where you'll give it another go for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. It was a blast.
Congratulations to Alexi there, your winner in AM today, and what a drive it was from him and from Lewis Woods. It was under pressure in that second half of the race from Ian Overhaven and there, and it was really, really tight between the two of them in this race. But it's a fortnight now until we head to Suzuka. Obviously, if you enjoyed some of the action here at Racing Unleashed, you've not got to wait very long. We're back on Saturday for the start of the in-house championship at, I believe it's Catalonia, the racetrack is. The pre-qualification times are on now for the Challenger League and the Racer League, and we're going to see what will happen. And we can speak with Gabriel now. Gabriel, before we start, can you just lift your webcam up ever so slightly? We're being told. But that was a second place. Phone, sorry, apologies. That is a second place. That's brilliant, they say. That's the second place in the race today, which is really, it's not a bad result for you.
Yeah, obviously would have liked to beat Lewis there for the championship, but he was just a better driver on the day today. So, yeah, satisfied with second. Nicholas was catching at the end, but he had an instant. So, when he did, I breathed a little sigh of relief. But otherwise, it was a decent weekend.
It was a good race. Good again, like I said to Lewis, a bit of a race of two halves, wasn't it? The first part of the race, you was putting him under the pressure and kept him honest. Second half of the race, after the pit stops, just didn't seem to fall your way.
Yeah, we were both pushing flat out after the pit, and we were like really equal on pace. I think he was slightly quicker, but I was keeping up in slipstream, like 8 tenths behind. And then I had like a little group of traffic, you know, just didn't fall my way, and yeah, lost slipstream, lost a bit of focus. At that point, I sort of like resigned myself to second place.
Suzuka.
10 minutes left.
Yeah, exactly. Suzuka in a fortnight's time. She's still got a good lead in the championship. Lewis obviously winning his first race. Does that start to creep a bit of pressure onto yourself, knowing that there's only 3 races left?
Yeah, I have to really deliver in the last few races here because he's probably pipped me in the championship after the drop rounds. So yeah, I've got to really outperform him in the last couple races, but it'll be a tough one because he's a really good driver. So, but yeah, it'll be a fun challenge.
Indeed, Gabriel. Congratulations on the P2, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Gabriel in P2 for Road at Atlanta then, and yeah, great fight there. But like he says, the back markers at the end just kept him from caning fully over Lewis Woods then in this race, and what a shame to see for him in this one. We have now Eno in the chat as well. P2 in the AM category. I know their second place could have been the race win in the end.
Yeah, it could have, but I didn't know it at the time. But I'm still very happy, considering I had an awful qualifying once again. And yeah, I'm happy Alexi won. He's been pretty quick recently, so he deserves it. And yeah, I had some more pace, but I just didn't feel like it was worth the risk to try and go for the move for P2.
The bonus today is that Francisco at the end dropping down to P5. Yes, Alexi won the race, but Francisco is your closest challenger, so him finishing 5th place is more points for you, isn't it, in that championship, so that you've got a pretty comfortable gap.
Yeah, that was the most important thing I forgot to say. But yeah, I'm very happy that Francisco's strategy didn't work out. And yeah, just my lead keeps getting better. That's good.
Suzuka's a very different circuit from Road Atlanta. What can you expect to do around there? What do you think the Lamborghini can deliver around there?
Well, I hope at least one race win, maybe in the first race. I think the Lamborghini will be pretty good, but we'll see.
We'll see. Well done on the P2 today. Congratulations, and we'll hopefully see you at Suzuka in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you.
So that then was second place in AM in Overhavenen there then, who was, you could tell, but pretty chuffed, pretty happy with his P2 there. But I suppose, you know, the Finns, they don't really show too much, do they, when interviewing them? I believe we got the P3s in for a chat. I'm not sure if we have got one waiting. Eric is sat waiting and ready to go. Eric, P3 today. Good race for you in the Ford Mustang.
I don't even understand, to be honest, how I am P3 at the end of this. where this pace came from. I don't even understand it. But
Well,
today was a good day, for sure.
It was very good pace from you. Very, very good pace from you today. And it was great to see because you've kind of been there or thereabouts all season.
Yeah, and at the start of the season, you know, when the Mustang first came, the Mustang was still new, and the rear axle didn't have the recent update it got in the latest build. So the Mustang felt kind of weird in the start of the season and was a bit tricky to drive. But after the rear axle rework, the Mustang has been quite good. It's much more stable.
Easier to drive for yourself then going onto circuits such as this, and obviously Suzuka in 2 weeks?
Yeah, absolutely. The difference is immense. It's like a new car, basically.
That's great to hear. Going into Suzuka though, what can you do with that Ford Mustang? Obviously we know such a big car on such a twisty tight circuit. What can you do around Suzuka?
Honestly, it's hard to say. Suzuka is, well, the Mustang at Suzuka kind of feels a little boaty. The car is big, as you say. So you need to be smooth with every input. And yeah, I don't think the Mustang will be this great at Suzuka, but we'll definitely give it our best shot.
Yeah, indeed, Eric. We can't wait to see you there. Congratulations on the P3 today. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Ross F there then with the P3 in the Ford Mustang, and hopefully we can speak with Petri as well, third place in this AM category this afternoon. And really had a great fight all afternoon with Pedro. Petri, P3, very fortunate due to Francisco running out of fuel, but a podium once again. I'm sure you're delighted with that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Was it the guy that in the last corner he was in AM class? Because it came so fast that I didn't know what was going on, but yeah, apparently so. Really happy.
Yeah, really happy. Lopez ran out of fuel on the last lap, and that's what cost him the race win and obviously promoted you to the podium. But you did the hard work because you had a great fight with Pedro, and that's really what put you in this position to get this third place.
Yeah. I was the plan was to try to find some pack and stay with him and just build the race from there. And then after the pit stops, there was I think a pro driver in between us, but I don't know where he went. And then Pedro came in front of me, and yeah, had a great time fighting him. Really clean, really nothing stupid, and really fun, and managed to get by him.
Indeed you did. We obviously back-to-back podiums for yourself from Spa and now here at Road Atlanta, but we changed to Suzuka next week. 3 really different tracks in a row. What can you do in 2 weeks' time at Suzuka?
Yeah, we'll see. Suzuka is definitely not one of my strong suits, but we'll keep training and see how it goes. So definitely keep fighting and have a good time.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Petri, congratulations tonight. Enjoy that podium, and we'll hopefully see you in a few weeks' time at Suzuka. Well done.
Thank you. Bye.
And that there then was your podium for the 3 pros and the 3 AM drivers in class this evening. Great race throughout all here at Road Atlanta. And like we said, we are back in 6 days' time. Saturday, the start of the in-house Assetto Corsa Championship. It is Challenger League and Race League in the version 2 of the simulators. We'll speak about more of that on Saturday, and we'll be back with the iRacing in a fortnight's time at Suzuka. From all of us here at Racing Unleashed, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and goodbye.